What you are listening to now is the Central Indiana Sports Report podcast number 321.1. The WNBA report with John Robertson's and Michelle Garmon's reaction to Tuesday night's All-Star draft between Caitlin Clark and Napheesha Collier.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Welcome, WNBA and Fever fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report and our WNBA report, going over the All-Star rosters with John Robertson and Michelle Garmon. We did a mock draft where John played an incredible Caitlin Clark and did his own picks, and Michelle did hers. But Greg had technical difficulties, which has happened, I don't know, a dozen times in the 1,000 podcasts that we've done. So
we were incredibly accurate, to be honest with
you. We're going to go over that.
Okay.
And John, of course, has some opinions on...
No, don't be John.
Yeah. John has some opinions on that. Of course, John Robertson is our Fever guy. Michelle Garmon is the sports editor at the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call-Leader, and my favorite sidekick. We did a Pacers podcast the other day. It was fantastic. She filled in. Everybody was on vacation or out of town. John was in Detroit dodging knife attacks.
You know, it was actually
It's
really
beautiful
nice.
down there.
Like Detroit as a whole, I wouldn't want to spend time, but the area around the sports stuff is beautiful.
Oh, and the suburbs
Detroit's
of
a city.
Detroit is incredible.
Yeah, it's a city you wouldn't want to get lost in downtown
No,
in, because
right.
then
No,
that
it's
would
the
be
worst.
But if you're right around Ford Field or Little Caesars Arena or Tiger Stadium, it's all gorgeous. And just so you guys know, the street right next to Tiger Stadium is John R. Street, so I got my picture taken on that too.
John, the WNBA All-Stars were announced since the last time we've podcasted.
Yes.
And then Caitlin Clark and Napheesha Collier drafted
their live
teams.
drafts.
So give us your initial take.
Okay. Before we start talking about the draft rosters, I have a hot take about the draft itself. First of all, super happy that they did it live, or at least recorded it and played it like it was live. Love that. And I love Napheesha Collier, but I have a bone to pick with her, as she wore her unrivaled shirt live during the draft, and she was shouting out unrivaled teams and teammates during the draft. And I thought that was a little, I don't know that I want to say inappropriate, but I thought it was unprofessional.
Like the right word to me.
Yeah, inappropriate.
Yep.
I don't know. I just like I get you want to support your business, and Unrivaled is their business, but it's kind of a competing league. So I felt like that was kind of.
unless, do you think the WNBA doesn't think, and they think that if there's more, the more fans Unrivaled gets, it brings more fans to the WNBA?
I don't know how they feel about it. I think we'll know a little more once collective bargaining happens
Yes.
after the season. That's kind of where I wasn't a huge fan. And again, I like Napheesha. I'm not a Napheesha hater.
Oh, I agree with you. She had no business wearing the Unrivaled during
I
that part.
didn't like that. And she kept like I said, and they were shouting out all their unrivaled teammates and this and that. And I get it, but like, I don't know. I would have liked to see her stay out of that, a little classier, be above it. But whatever. That's just my first comment. As far as the draft itself, unless you guys want to comment on that anymore. Any other comments? All right. The draft itself was really entertaining. I'm glad they did it live. I'm sad you guys didn't get to see the video. It's on YouTube. Go back and watch it. Caitlin was a lot of fun, and Napheesha was more business, but it was just really entertaining. Of course, Caitlin took who I wanted her to take first. She took Aaliyah Boston. That was the absolute first pick.
That should not shock anybody. I think those
No.
two have, those two have become really good friends, and same as like Lexi Hall. I think that's a trio, a trio of close friends that
Sure.
came about last year, or Caitlin's rookie year.
Real fast, my favorite team obviously has always been the Fever, and they've been Tamika Catchings, all that. But I didn't really start paying attention until I fell in love with Aaliyah Boston at South Carolina and was like, oh, I hope she comes to the Fever. I love watching her play basketball. I love her enthusiasm and her smile and so my love for the Fever began
For sure.
before Caitlin.
I agree with all of that. Aaliyah is awesome. She's so happy and fun to watch. I mean, I've never really met her, but she seems like it, and she just enjoys the game. She plays strong. She plays tough, and she stays above the mess, all the petty mess, and I like that too. But I like that Caitlin took her first because it sends a sign to her teammates. Like both times she had a chance to take a teammate first, she did. So she's showing like, she's got her Fever teammates back. And I love that. That was such a classy move, regardless of like, Kelsey Mitchell was the first one she took in the reserves pick. She said, "I'm going first pick with Kelsey Mitchell." Like, I love Kelsey, but if we're looking at the reserves, there's probably someone slightly better than her on that roster. But Caitlin took her first as a genuine gesture of Fever family first.
I wouldn't have done that.
Well, not only that, but think about it. It's in Indianapolis.
Yep.
Okay. You got the Fever player, all three on the same team. Gives them a little bit of an advantage because come the second half, the first half you have your starters and everything, but if they take these games serious, and I will say this,
It'll definitely make America take
I
sides.
do think the WNBA is going to be better at taking this series serious than the NBA. One, Caitlin Clark is as competitive.
This is going to be serious.
As competitive as anybody. It's kind of like the NBA All-Stars were pretty serious when Michael Jordan played.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
Because he was highly competitive.
They all were. Magic
Well-
Johnson, Larry Bird. Yeah.
I hate to let you guys down, but Caitlin made a comment during the draft. She's like, "Well, it's the All-Star game. It's supposed to just be fun, popping up threes and blah." So I don't know if you're going to get as
No,
competitive.
of course it's not going to
Well,
be a regular
But
basketball
but I'm
game.
just telling you, if it's closed down in the fourth
Exactly.
quarter,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think's going to kick in?
Oh, I
Do you
agree.
guys- she's
I
not. It's
agree.
going to become.
I
She
think
hates
it'll-
to lose.
I'm
And
excited
if they
for it.
put on a clown show like the NBA does, the fans are not going to like it.
That's true.
No, they won't.
But I do think that Fee was drafting for size and for like an actual physical game. Caitlin was drafting for let's have a good time. She took Sabrina with her second pick. So can you like Caitlin and Sabrina on the same team?
Yeah.
That's gonna be entertaining. I think
I feel bad for the other team in the arena because they're going to feel like the visiting team.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what. In the whole All-Star thing, and only because Caitlin's been injured and not quite 100%. To me, Sabrina Ionescu is the best guard.
Absolutely.
In
We've said that on
that.
we said that on Will's podcast today. Best guard in the WNBA.
one of the bigger controversies, if you follow along on social media, was everybody was furious that Asia went as the third pick for Caitlin and like sixth pick overall. So Asia Wilson is on Team Clark.
So who was Caitlin's third?
It went Caitlin was herself, then Aaliyah Boston, then Sabrina Ionescu, then Asia Wilson, and then her last of the starters was Satu Sabali.
Ooh, man, that's a good team.
Yeah.
Tell me the starters for the other.
Okay, that would for the starters. That would be Fee, of course, because she's the captain. That would be Alicia Gray.
She made the team. She was not her first pick, though.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying first
Oh,
pick.
okay,
I'm not
okay,
trying to
okay.
go in order.
No,
I'm trying
you're
to
good, yeah.
because he won't let me look at the roster,
you're
so
good.
I have
wanna see
to
if she
go
can-
through the top of my
think
head of
that's-
who was left
I do
of the
think it's
starters.
good to look at who she
But I
picked
wanted to
first.
see if
Okay.
if you knew who was first.
No, well, I think
Who do
he
you
told me,
think
but
Fee
I
would
forgot.
take first? Who do you think Fee would take first?
Well, I'm trying to remember who is left. Oh no, gosh, I'm stupid. The one I took first, Brianna Stewart.
Yeah, she took
Yeah.
Brianna Stewart
Of course.
first.
That's who I would take.
Because they're business partners and unrivaled.
Well, and not only that,
and she's
Stewart-
good.
She's
Stewart's-
been really good this
Stewart,
year.
Stewart can really play 1 through 5. I mean,
Yeah.
if you need her to, she can
Yeah.
play 1 through 5.
Like Stewart's a great pick. I just thought it was interesting. Caitlin took Aaliyah, her friend, who she plays with first, and then Fee decided to go with her friend and also business partner Stewart first. And then Alicia Gray, you got right.
And then that would okay. I'm trying to go through all of them. Nikea
Yeah.
Bamako-
Neka Agumake.
Neka Ugumake. Yes, I always get tongue. I
Yeah.
get tongue twisted because there's a Ricky Obamake and then
Yeah.
Nikki.
It's hard to
They're
pronounce.
tongue twisting names.
Now,
Yes.
The fun little plot twist with that one was right before Fee picked NECA, she said, "I'm going to take this one hoping that my little baby husky's still there when I get back." I think she wanted Paige for her last
Yes.
pick. And Caitlin was like, whoa, you don't get to pick two and say who you want. So Caitlin almost hate drafted Paige, but she didn't because it didn't fit with her team. right?
Yeah.
Like so, it was funny to see it really was a good back and forth between the two. It was all fun, and there wasn't a lot of.
If you'd have given me homework, John, I'd have watched it.
Although I will say this, I'm surprised because Paige would have fit with Caitlin's team.
Then
With
you got-
Wilson and Boston, and then
But
it
then
would
you
have given
got-
her 3 perimeter players and in Paige, Sabrina, and herself.
Paige, Sabrina, and Caitlin, all 3 on the same team. That's a lot of guards, shooting guards. That's a
Well,
lot of
but just think what you can do
You
with
have
having
to have
Wilson.
depth in an all-star
Well, but
game,
think
too.
about it with the high low that you get with Wilson and Boston. That would have been a formidable scoring team.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking too deep into how they
Yeah.
choose these teams.
I know, but I mean, I'm just saying.
That's how you would do it.
would do it that way. I would have.
All right.
And then so, okay, so that's Paige. And are we
That's the starters. That was the starter round.
Okay, so
So then Fee got to pick first in the reserves round, and she took Courtney Williams first, who's her teammate.
okay,
And we'll just go through it. Fee went Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese. She shouted out me bounds. She said we're gonna need some me bounds while we're out there, which I think is hilarious.
yes.
It's going to be a thing.
Oh, well, yeah. Angel's already copyrighted the phrase. People
Nice.
were using it to make fun of her, and she said, "Well, I'm just gonna copyright it then."
I love it. Love
Alyssa
Angel
Thomas.
Reese. I'm swimming up against the stream on this one. I love Angel Reese.
I think she's been playing really well and deserves credit for playing really well.
I kind
After her start, because it was a really ragged start.
Yeah, which is fair. I don't particularly like her personality and the way she carries herself sometimes. I think there's a level of...
She likes to create drama, and I'm not a big drama. I'm
I don't
a
know if
female
she
who doesn't like
creates it.
drama.
I'm going to take this out. I don't
As a
know that she-
reporter, I like a little drama.
well, I don't even know that she creates it, though, but I think she feeds into it. Like,
She creates it. Go back to the national championship
right,
game. That was
that
all her.
thing.
Well, that
Are
and
you sure she created
oh
that?
yes, she did. Well, the ring thing. Yes, she created the drama.
well, here and there. She feeds
Caitlin
it.
Clark likes a little drama, too. And she's good at it.
Well, we're going to get to a little Caitlin Clark
Caitlin's-
drama. There's a little
Caitlin's-
drama in this draft that I want to get to. When we get
Caitlin's
done.
way better at the drama than Angel.
All right, so just to recap, Fee took Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Plum, and then Ryan Howard. So
That is a good team, too.
That is a good team.
Yes.
All right, so then Caitlin's reserve, she took Kelsey Mitchell first, followed that with Gabby Williams, and then the next 2 picks I thought were very Caitlin. She went with Sonia Citron and Kiki Arifin back to back, so she took both the rookies. And then you'll like this one, Michelle. She took Jackie Young and then got Kayla Thornton as her last.
Man, that team's going to be easy to cheer for.
Yeah,
I feel bad for. I really like Collier too.
Sure.
I feel bad for that team because they're going to seem like the villains in that building.
I
in
will
an
say-
all-star
They
game.
are.
Yeah, but I will say this too. I said I kind of think it's neat that Caitlin ended up and taking Jackie because I really think not necessarily a close relationship, but I go back to Caitlin's rookie year last year when there was that foul. She got bumped, and Young, it's part of it, and it wasn't dirty, but Young knew she needed a moment and took the time out to go to her knees to slowly tie her shoe and look at Caitlin and make sure she was all right before they got up and played again. Such a class move.
Yeah.
And I, that's the kind of move that somebody like Caitlin's not going to forget. Plus, by taking Jackie in, she takes a native Indiana girl, an Indiana
Right.
girl, which is kind of neat then because the Fever players are going to get cheered. So with Jackie Young being on that team, then she gets to be a part of all of that cheering too.
I think that you'll definitely, obviously, with the Fever players on Team Clark, they're going to be the favorites in the building, right? The fans are going to cheer for them. I think you kind of get like the
Team Fever.
right. I think the other thing you notice is Team Clark is kind of like Team Youth, Team Rookie, Team
Yeah.
first couple of years
No
Rising
doubt.
Stars, and then Team Collier's a lot like veterans.
No doubt.
So that could play into a factor of what we're
With
gonna
a
see.
few here and there of the
Right,
exceptions.
like not completely, but if you're trying to make a couple of generalizations, that was kind of what
For
I
sure.
came up with. One of the things I thought was funny is as we're going into the last 2 people left, it was Kayla Thornton and Ryan Howard, and I really didn't. I don't think Caitlin likes Ryan Howard. I think they have beef. I think when you watch them play, so
Oh man, we love beef on the Central.
Oh,
Indiana
sure.
Sports
Let me
Report.
tell you, Ryan Howard is a phenomenal player.
sure.
But I saw her in person because Kentucky came to Indiana for the NC2A tournament, and I can see why that, like, she does not attract because she's got a big time attitude. And
We'd like her on our team. Though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, but on the Fever.
good.
Well, I wasn't. It didn't bother me when she like fouled out in the IU game because her attitude was just.
But if you look at some of the Fever,
Kentucky kind of makes that happen.
if you look at the Fever Dream matchups we've had so far this year, there's been some chippiness between those two, right? So when Fee took
The
Ryan,
Sun have been the worst.
fair. But when Fee took Ryan in the draft, Caitlin said, "Oh, that's a good pick for you. That's a really good pick for you. I like that one for you." Like it was, it was one of those like you could tell that there was a little bit of subtleness there, but like
Caitlin's
only
good at drama.
only if you knew there was subtleness there. So
I'm telling you.
So the big,
She thinks it through. She thinks her
Oh, I do
drama
too.
through.
Well, but here's the thing: there's a difference between Caitlin's drama and Angel's. Angel's is more cattiness. Angel is more of that female that you don't like that has the claws that come out and retracts
yeah, but
them.
it's not just Angel. Like I'm going to side with Greg here a little bit. Like it's not just Angel. I don't like Angel's attitude, but like there's so many more people than Angel that are worse about that than her. So yeah, agreed.
You're welcome to join us.
Yeah, I don't like Angel's
I
attitude.
love Angel
But I'm
Reese.
saying like she's not even the worst. Like look at Dejanay Carrington. She is by far worse than Angel about starting and creating
is
drama.
The best thing though is she's been injured for most. She's been injured a lot of
Yeah.
this year, so
Who's
you have
the one
to,
on the
watch
Sun?
Carrington.
On the Sun,
Who poked Caitlin in the eye?
Oh, that was J.C. Sheldon.
Yeah.
But you know that's
she got shut up by Sophie Cunningham though, so I'm
Yes,
good
she
with
did.
that. Like, listen, I'll tell you what, I saw a lot of Sophie Cunningham jerseys yesterday at the Fever event we went
Good.
to.
Well, you will. I mean, Sophie
Everybody
has become
was kung fu fighting.
Sophie has become a big fan favorite. I mean, she's just but you have to kind of you like Sophie. I just like watching her. It's not even that. It's just how much fun that she has when she's playing. She's out there having for her it's a good time and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. She's highly competitive, but she enjoys the game.
Yeah,
There's no reason not to love Sophie.
for sure. I don't want to get too far off the draft because we have one more big piece of the draft that happened that was very exciting. So after they had picked their rosters, they were open to allowed to make trades. They're like, look at your rosters. Do you want to make any switches? You know, one has to be 1 for 1, starter for starter, reserve for reserve. And Caitlin goes, I don't have any players I want to trade, but I don't know if this is allowed. And she goes, I don't care if it's allowed. We're going to do it anyway. I want to trade coaches. She's like, we want to trade coaches. So Cheryl Reeves is going to coach Fee's team. And the New York Liberty coach is going to coach Sandy Brondello. So Caitlin basically said, we don't care if this is allowed. Or she said, I don't care if ESPN allows it. I don't care if the WNBA allows it. We're going to switch coaches. So
Nice.
So Sandy Brondello is going to come over to Team Clark, and you can have Cheryl Reed. And Napheesha tried to like make it seem chill. She's like, oh yeah, she's my coach. I'm used to her. That's comfortable. That's a bad move for you, Caitlin. And Caitlin's like, whatever. Sandy's going to let me do whatever I want, and she's going to have Sabrina on my team. They started to make a swap for because Caitlin said, if you want to send Stewie over here to stay with Sandy, we'll take her. But then Fee said, then you're going to have to give me Aaliyah Boston. And Caitlin was like, absolutely not.
Wow.
Like, emphatically. So just like, it was really good energy vibe. Like, it was honestly, this is why when we talked about it last week, I wanted to see the draft happen because there's a lot of entertainment there. And it really wasn't too catty, but there was just enough.
Yeah. Like I said, Caitlin is outstanding at doing this stuff at promo. She thinks this stuff through. She doesn't say anything that she doesn't mean.
And she does it with a level of class. I like the way Caitlin has class.
She
when
thinks it through.
Yeah.
Well, and other than wearing the unrivaled stuff, it's probably good that Fee was the other captain because Fee's kind of like that too. I mean,
Yeah.
she speaks
She is.
well. She
Yeah,
thinks
oh, yeah.
things through.
She's great.
She doesn't try to put her. It's so that was a.
Yeah,
nice.
and I mean, maybe I'm being too sensitive about the unrivaled stuff. I mean, honestly, maybe it shouldn't bother me at all. But like, for some reason, it just, I do.
We'll see if it becomes an issue.
Yeah, I think we'll see how it plays out.
It would have been interesting had Leah Boston been the second top vote getter and Caitlin and Aaliyah had been head to head
That
as
might be
captains.
happening in the future.
I think
I
that-
know it could happen in the
I
future.
do think that would have been an interesting storyline since it's in Indiana. You have two Indiana girls be the
That'd be
captains.
fun.
That would have been a good storyline. But I'm happy that Caitlin and Aaliyah are on the same team.
Oh, I am too.
Like, I really do love that Caitlin used her first pick in the starters and in the reserves to take a teammate. I think that's just a good overall team building thing for
Yes.
not just the All-Star game, just chemistry wise.
John, are they going back to East and West when they expand?
I don't know. There's been no talk about it. I would prefer an East-West All-Star
Because
game.
an East-West All-Star game with a big cash prize would be to make it a little more competitive.
Well, and don't you? I wonder too when they, because right now the playoffs are just the top teams record wise. There is no East
Right.
West in that. So as they expand, I wonder if they'll go back to
They
East
should.
West when it comes to playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that's the better way to do it. I wish the NBA would do it, and they don't, though. They still do the 4 different teams drafted and whatnot. Like they have the rising stars, the rookies.
I know.
And I don't like that either.
Hate it.
So we'll see how it plays out. I'm excited for it. I don't know that I'm going to go to the game. I looked up tickets yesterday. They're still about like 170.
But
Just
you'll
to get
go
the
down,
building.
I assume, during the weekend.
Oh, we will, because Kyrie's participating in. They're doing one event where they're having like 2,500 kids dribble from a park to the circle, and
Oh, cool.
Kyrie signed up for that. And we'll go down to. They're having a WNBA like convention center thing where you can go and meet players and whatnot.
Bell should have had us sign up for all of his basketball team and gotten a couple activity buses and driven him down there if they wanted to
sold
do
out
that.
or not sold out. It's free. It's completely free, but you like had to register very quickly.
Okay.
And they I got an email yesterday that said if you're not coming, tell us because we have 1,000 people on the
wait list?
on the wait list. So, yeah.
This is a good time to remind everybody that we are at Tipton Municipal Golf Course, our favorite place every Wednesday.
If
glad
I
it's here.
enjoyed crowds more,
As I get older,
the crowds irritate
me
me.
too.
I would probably go down there, but because I'm not into that, especially if it's hot and everything, then I will probably
everything I
I will
could.
probably stay away.
I will probably stay away and just look for highlights and tweets and John, you'll provide us
I'll
with
probably
plenty
provide
of.
you
When I
with
was
some.
young,
Yeah.
like John Robertson. Like John Robertson.
So we're going down for that. I'm going down for the thing that the KC's participating in, and then I don't know if we'll go to the game. I've spent so much money on tickets the last 6 months, and like we're going to LA this year for the Pacers, so I don't know that I'm gonna spend more money on All Star, but we'll see what happens.
You've been to enough games. You've seen all these players.
I have. I don't know if I've talked to you since KC and I had courtside seats, but that was ridiculously exciting. That was if you ever get a chance to do that at a Fever game, I highly recommend it because they have a line where you can high five the players coming in and out, and just she was on cloud 9. I think the other thing we really wanted to talk about is Dewana Bonner. There's a little bit of drama with that. Dewana, came to the Fever and then sat out for 6 games after she only played like a few games, and now she just re-signed with Phoenix yesterday. So people have a lot of feelings about it. I'll let you guys go with what you think, and then I'll chime in after that. What do you think, Greg? You got anything on that? Anything about Dewana Bonner?
I don't even remember who she is.
Okay. So for the most part, I agree with everything you said. I am glad that the team is the way it is. I'm like the way it worked out. We ended up getting Ari to the team, and I'm so happy. I met her yesterday.
She's a better fit.
Agree. So like if that's the
It never felt like Bonner fit.
I didn't either. So I'm happy that it worked out that Ari's here. Met her yesterday. Super awesome person. Super happy. Super nice. But if my only thing is that if Bonner knew she was gonna leave and didn't want to fit, why like, she just came because of like some sort of get some money and then bounce?
Here's what I'm only gonna say this: if her heart wasn't in Indiana, I'm fine. If she wants to go to Phoenix, I'm fine with that because I think in the long run, the Fever, you're better off when you don't have a player on your roster that doesn't really want to be there. I think that's fine. I think there was a little more to her leaving and a little drama, but I'm not going to get into that because it's, that's supposition on a personal front. But obviously, she didn't want to really be here. And if she didn't really want to be here, then she needs to be gone. And if she wants to resign, she's a veteran. I'm not going to hold that to her. It's her livelihood. Let her go. I don't think she should. I don't think she should be punished because with her livelihood.
Thank you so much to John and Michelle for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report. Look, I edited newspapers for 25 years. I'm still pretty new to this podcasting thing, and somehow, some way, I lost Michelle's and my audio the last 4 minutes, so I had to piece things together. Still turned out pretty good. Thanks so much again, John and Michelle. So good at their NBA insight. They know so much about it. Love it. And thanks so much to you for listening. Please like, subscribe, or follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, or YouTube, where we now have graphics in the background of all of our audio podcasts. Please go check it out. Thanks again. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.